Stand by, everybody. We are having technical difficulty at the moment, as has been the case for the last couple of days. So just stand by, please.
All right, we're going to try again to find that presentation and get it up. Oh, Susan, if you want to do my intro, hopefully, then I will be ready to go.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm Susan Giddings. This is Jonathan Howard, and we're struggling with our social media and our live and everything tonight. So technical stuff is just not doing well for us, but we are happy to be here anyway. And Jonathan's going to be wrapping up everything we've done over the last 3 weeks when he can get the presentation going. And, you know, it's just one of those things, and it will all work out in the end. So whenever Jonathan can get it up here, we will be able to get started. So please, guys, just bear with us, and it will all work out in a minute, hopefully.
Hopefully. We're hoping. Thank you guys for joining us. I am very excited about doing this presentation, and I'm going to test the beginning. If it's sounding like it's double again, I might have to try something else, but we're going to give this a shot and get going, because this is why part 3. And I get to talk to you guys about how to use your social media, how to use your why in your social media. And I'm going to blah, blah, and I'll be all good. All right. Let me get Susan, did you need to say anything else, or are you gonna head out?
You can just knock me out, and let's try to get this thing rolling for everybody.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, it sounded like we had a single audio stream, so I think that's good. So if you guys can hear it, let us can hear it without a problem. Hopefully, just give a thumbs up in there, and we'll be good. All right. So, like I said, we are wrapping it up today with Why for Success. So when you think about the things that we've talked about this past 3 weeks in this whole learning extravaganza, there's a lot that we talked about, but I want to wrap it up, tie it up into a nice bow with just a few words. And those words are passion, emotion, connection, purpose, and vision. And those are really the words that kind of describe the why. So I am back behind this, but I'm going to mute myself for a second and get you on this next thing. I hope it works.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Love it. I'm not going to get this right today. So, did you feel something while watching that? And come on. Technical difficulties are just not going to work with me. Okay. Did you feel something? That whole 60 seconds, did it make you feel something? Were you inspired? Did you feel a connection? Did you feel that little something in the pit of your stomach that made you want to do something, but you weren't sure what? That is what you get when you connect with the why. I'm muted still. I just got that notice. Okay. That's what you get when you're connected with the why. That feeling, this was Apple's manifesto. It was really them saying, this is who we are, this is who we work with, and this is what we believe right in 60 seconds. And that 60 seconds still holds true today, which is amazing because this was put out 14 years ago, before iPhones, before technology was what it is today. But that was still their manifesto. They still are there for the crazy ones, the ones that don't like status quo. So this was an amazing piece that still holds true. And the reason it still holds true is because of their values and where they brought their why from. So let's take a look again, just so we have a little bit of a review of people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And this is how Simon Sinek defined that. So by why, he means, what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? And that's where Apple really nailed it in this one. Why should anyone care? Because it's for the crazy ones. And the crazy ones are the ones that change the world. That's why people should care. So leading with the why, starting with the why in your marketing and on your social media can make a huge impact, just like Apple did with this. Let's take a quick look at their golden circle. So their why, as was very evident, is everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo and thinking differently. Their method was their products are beautifully designed and simple to use. Their what? We just happen to sell computers. Now, what was really amazing about the Think Different campaign was that nowhere in that campaign does it say what. It talks about why. It talks about a culture. It talks about what they believe, their worldview. And it got people to rally around that worldview and support Apple without a what. And that is really, really important. That's what why delivers. So let's take a look at what happens when the why is missing. So we know the why is hard. Susan and I wouldn't have done 3 weeks of this if the why wasn't hard. But you still have to look to find it, because when you find it, your golden circle becomes complete. And that golden circle allows you to really inspire, have passion, have power over your words, and an ability to connect with people that you would not necessarily have without it. So if you're struggling to find your why, that's what this is for, is to help you find your why. We don't want you to go, Susan, 20 years. And I went 20 years. I worked for another company for 18 years. So we want to help it be easier for you guys. So without the why, when you're talking about what you do, you're actually just speaking to the analytical part of the brain. And the analytical part of the brain doesn't have emotions. It can say no. But when you're talking to the why, you're communicating with those feelings and dealing with human behavior, which is not entirely rational. So you're going to, when you speak to the why, you're talking to the emotional brain. Then that's the part of the brain that buys. You want to talk to the emotional buying brain. You want to connect with those emotions and the why so that people will buy. So let's look at a few examples of when there's not a why. So we took my golden circle and we took the stories out of it because my why is stories. I believe that stories are the most powerful form of communication. So without that, this is what you get. You get all of my services and products help businesses on social media and beyond. I developed a unique framework that's scalable, flexible, and focuses on social media. Now, for those of you who know me, you know that while I do social media, my focus is definitely not just social media. And this doesn't have any of my differentiators in it because what I do different is the focus on stories. So if I were to try to sell some things, just a few things, without my why, it could sound like this. So I've got 100 solutions for you, 100 problems you can get solved for just $100. You know you want to buy that. Or, hey, we doubled the number of solutions, but we kept the price the same. All just $100. Come and get it now. Or maybe your solutions to your social media problems now with sparkles. Or, hey, just buy these solutions so we can move on. Okay, thanks, bye. It doesn't have anything that motivates. It doesn't have anything that inspires. It kind of falls flat, and it's very easy to say no. So let's take a look and just pretend that Susan would actually try to sell without a why. And this is what it could sound like. So this course shows you how to make money. Buy it. Or the course now comes with a bonus. You're going to buy it now, right? New course, new results, same great taste. Price. It's cheap. Or no lessons, no classes. We get it. You don't want to buy a class. How about some coaching? You want to buy coaching? Again, all of it is just not, there's nothing, it falls flat. There's nothing that makes it exciting. And that is what the why does. The other thing that a why does is it helps you build that know, like, and trust factor. And that's the ever important factor because humans, we're not rational beings. And we need to have something in order to feel comfortable buying. And that something is trust. And that trust is built not from the rational stuff, but from all the other stuff. So when you verbalize a feeling and you connect it with something, it actually builds a much stronger bond between those two things. So when you connect your why with your product, that's creating a stronger bond, an emotional bond to your product. Okay, so without the why, you're not able to really build that trust as quickly, and we know that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So what I wanted to do for the rest of this presentation is actually give you some examples of how you can win with your why, and some examples that seem a little bit more familiar for you guys because they're examples from my social media, Susan's social media, and our websites and stuff like that, so that you can see that we're not aiming for Apple. We're aiming for what is attainable, and it's good, but it's not Apple. It's attainable, and it's familiar for you guys because you can see what you've seen and know what it does. So let's start with my golden circle. So my why is that I do things differently. I believe that stories are the most powerful form of communication. I've developed a unique framework that is scalable, flexible, and focuses on telling the individual story of the business. And my what is all my services and products to help businesses tell their story on social media and beyond. So let's talk about some ways that you can win with your why. Now, these ways, this first group of ways is kind of the big idea ways. These are where you're going to lay down some really substantial pieces of content that tell your why. And it's stuff that you're passionate about. Show how you're passionate. Feature content that supports your values. Create content around your why and your story. And talk about your purpose, because your purpose is the ultimate differentiator. So I am going to drop back for a second and mute myself so you can hear this clearly.
Relatively inexpensive to technically open the doors to an online business, right? So you put up a website,
you get your social media going. You come up with the name for your business, what you think you want to do and sell. You write a little bit of copy, you post some stuff, and you think you're ready to open the doors and sell. Wrong. That's the reason why so many businesses fail. That's the reason why it takes you so very long to be successful, if ever, because you didn't even start out thinking about your business as a real business. Just because you didn't have to find a brick and mortar location does not make your business any less a business. And when you don't take
is the power of a universal emotion that can be conveyed in a story. Why do you tell your story? Because in social media, in life, people don't buy your product. People don't buy your service. That's not what they're buying. They're buying you. That's why you tell your story. Because they connect with you. They like you. They're buying you. In a very, very clear way, they're buying you. So when you're selling, if you're not selling you and you're not telling your story and you're not connecting with people on an emotional level and building relationships in your business that can be used to All right. So these two videos, why I selected them is really because even if you had the sound off, you could tell that Susan and I are very passionate about what we do and what we were talking about. We can highlight our passion in a lot of different ways, but this was very easy to see that we actually cared what we were talking about in both of these videos. And you can tell always I care about what I'm talking about because I'm always talking with my hands. If I'm not talking with my hands, then there's something wrong. But it's one of those ways that people can read your body language. People can see just in the little bit that they see through that camera whether you are actually passionate about what you're doing. So make sure that you share content that you're passionate about. So the next thing, it's going to click over. Our transitions are rough today. So the next thing is beliefs and values. Now, beliefs and values, again, you're laying the foundation here. So you want to have pieces of content that are video, pieces of content that are actual just posts or blog posts or emails or other things that you might put out there that highlight your beliefs and your values, things that you really care about, things that connect back to your why. So for me, like in this piece, I put out that I believe that you should create a business where the differentiator is you. So you should create a business that is uniquely you. It should tell your story and be you. Susan believes that you serve, you don't sell. You build relationships, you don't sell. So those are two things that are at the core of what we believe, and we use those in different posts, in longer form content, and throughout our social media presence. Okay, content around your why. So I'm being 100% transparent here. Content around your why is hard, and you knew we were going to use this, but here's an important thing to remember. It's to create an emotional connection between your audience and you. It's usually done in longer form content. It's usually done through building relationship building exercises. And it really needs to be created on multiple different mediums because some people will connect with you through a post. Some people will connect with you in a 3-part learning extravaganza. Other people may not. But it's really content that highlights your purpose and why you're doing something. And it comes in handy also when you're talking about your differentiators. All right. And then finally in this section is purpose. Purpose is the ultimate differentiator. So anything that ties back to and connects your why with your purpose is powerful. Anything that connects those two things is powerful. And you're going to highlight the differences from you and other businesses and show the world what you do that's special. Because you are special and there's nobody out there that does it like you. So show them what you're doing and why it's special. All right, next group is more about consistent messaging, but also being human, being real, authentic, relatable, and likable. And you got to have an animal of some sorts. We say dogs because we have dogs, but cats or turtles or any animal really works. Also, babies and food works. So if you don't have dogs, You can have cats or babies or food. All of that works because it's about building a connection. All right. So consistent messaging. Your content, your captions, and everything should all kind of look and feel like it belongs to you. This is all obviously Susan's. It looks and feels like it belongs to Susan. The messaging that's contained with this also looks and feels like it belongs to Susan. It's in her voice. It reflects her business. It reflects her values. Now, if I were to take a piece of my content and throw it in that lineup, it wouldn't look the same. It would look very different. It would not quite fit. And somebody would probably, scratch the record like, wait, what's going on here? So here's some of my content and how I do consistent messaging. Now, I have 2 separate platforms that actually promote 2 separate things. My Instagram promotes my art, whereas my social media is done mostly on Facebook. But you can see that the 2 are still consistent in really how they're messaged, how they're branded overall. And again, it's really important if one of Susan's things ended up on my feed, it would look different. People would be confused. So just think about how it looks as a whole package and what you're saying as a whole package as well. Be human. So remind people there's a human being behind the business. That's something that we always forget, both as consumers and as owners of businesses. We forget there's a person behind that business. So remind them of the fact. Remind them that you're real, you're human. You do things like eat and shop and have families, and you engage with people and you hang out with friends, and all of that works in your favor. The other stuff that works in your favor is also being fun, being a little bit weird, being different, because it helps you stand out. And they will accept it. Weirdness is okay, I promise. You guys sort of accept me. All right, and then authenticity and likability. This takes a while to establish. It's not always easy to accomplish. It takes time. The audience has to align with you, your values, and your personality. But you have to have a personality. Any personality will do. There is, after all, a lid for every pot. So any personality will do, preferably a good one, but hey, we do what we can. And in order to build this up, you really have to show up on your platform regularly. Show up regularly and show up as the person that you really are. Don't say, I'm going on Facebook now, I'm going to be a very different person. You show up the way you are and let people see you the way you are. It's not always easy. It's not always something you want to share. And some of you may or may not have seen this, but I'm going to play this video for you guys. Let me go over here.
Ladies and gentlemen, live or not so live from New York, here's Jonathan.
Thank you, Susan, and I'm very, very excited to be here. I am going to unmute my mic so people can. Hello. Yeah, it was, I always say that stories have power and they really can change, people's perceptions. And it was great to be able to tell other people's stories in my business and really. Why are you laughing at me, Susan? Stop laughing at me. It's not funny.
And when you were able to use that on your client and saw the difference, that was amazing.
It was an incredible, it's great. I love it. And it was a huge transition. I get to do what I love in my business, and it was unbelievable. My hat's really crooked.
It doesn't really matter right now.
I know it doesn't matter right now. So we're just going to go and we're going to talk. Susan, let's see what your why is.
Yes, because it's my turn to be fabulous.
Yes, it is. So my business just was transformed because I started to apply. Yeah, it was really important, Susan. Hello. Until you business, we need to do this again because I screwed this one up so bad on every point. Like I can't even get anything right. You gotta do it.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you
now. Hello.
to take you to where Jonathan and I have been able to go without the help. We just were lucky enough on.
Yes, and don't let Susan fool you. She actually needed somebody to push her into her why both times, so she didn't find it on her own. But hello. Just like you're shining through today as I'm fumbling to hit all the buttons. So yeah,
we are going to have a fabulous.
Done now?
I don't know.
So that was, and if you guys saw the amount of bloopers I had to go through to actually just get those, because the first one was funny. So we have bloopers from tonight too. So, all right. So, but that is really showing up and being authentic and likable and letting people see you the way things really are. So let's head on over to the next slide. Come on. All right. So this is what I was saying. Animals, babies, and food. So it may be a cheap trick, but animals, babies, and food all contribute to your likability and help you build trust faster. So use them smartly. Don't just throw a dog or a cat or a lizard into there just to try to connect with people. Actually use it smartly. Use it to help tell your story. But if you have a child or a food or whatever, it always engages very well on social media. Okay. More ways to win with your why. So connect with the emotions of your audience. Target the specific audience that understands and connects with your why. Provide your ideal customers with great value and involve your audience in the process. So some of these are easier than others. Let's talk about this on here. Oh, this unmuting is really annoying. All right, so connecting with emotions. You need to really connect with the emotions that your audience, your ideal client is feeling. What are they going through now? What are they going to feel after they use your service? So whether it's the fear or the overwhelm, what is it that they're feeling and how can you help them? It's a pain to gain model. It's really they're in pain. You're going to help them get out of that pain. And it's a very powerful way to highlight and win clients, and what's with your why. So also targeting your audience. In all that you do, you should be targeting your specific avatar. Make sure that you're highlighting what they would struggle with, how you're going to help them. Make it a positive experience with them. So any of your longer form things like your sales pages, or if you have a course, things that you do there, and make sure that you're targeting their pain points and helping them, showing them how you can help them through it. All right, real value. Give your audience real value. Don't just give them a teaser of value. Give them something that is actually going to help them move the needle forward. Now, I'm not telling you to give away your programs. I'm not telling you to give them everything they possibly need. But if you give them real value, they're going to see you as the expert. You will be seen as the expert, the person to come to when they need you. So part of what you're doing is really showing them that you know what you're talking about. And it can be from small words of advice to larger concepts and, whole frameworks, whatever it is, but they still trust you and believe that you are an expert in this. So you want to make sure, and these are some examples of things that Susan gave, and these are some examples recently of stuff that I've put out on my social media. So whether it's stories or creating content, that's all there. So we're giving real value. We're trying to help you guys move the needle as you go through. Involve your audience. So you want to get your audience involved. And sometimes it's just writing captions that they can write comments on, engage with. But where you can, you should do some larger things for them and really try to build engagement. running contests, doing specific content that's specifically for an event or somebody, part of your audience, that helps you build up that like, know, and trust. It helps you include your why in your story and what you're doing and gets people to like you. And then our final group of ways that you can win. This is really about showing your differentiators and highlighting what they're going to do for your audience. So what makes you different? Where does that difference show up in your business? And how does that difference help your audience? So differentiators. As you guys know, Susan is a no BS sales coach. What makes her different is that she will tell you that. She'll tell you like it is, and she's going to give you proven strategies that work because she has experience as an entrepreneur. So she knows what she's doing, and that's one of her differentiators. One of mine is, well, I show up as the antisocial guy on social media a lot, telling you how to do things on social media that's not just about being social and making friends, but actually going to help you move your business forward. And part of that is developing the business that is uniquely you. So that was one of my posts about that. That does not need it. All right. So Susan, like we said, is a different kind of business coach. She's the no BS kind of gal. So welcome to the no BS zone. Be afraid, be very afraid. Not really. You'll be hearing nothing but the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. But she's nice about it. So Susan does an amazing job really telling people like it is. And actually why I included the previous video at the beginning was because that was Susan telling us, all of us, that you need to pay just as much attention to your online business as if you had a brick and mortar location. And she was telling it in a way that actually connected with a lot of people in my group and even me, because I always try not to spend money, but you need to do some of that. So that was really, how Susan talks. That's how Susan believes things should be done. And it cuts through any of the extra stuff that's there. And then me, again, the Antisocial Guy's Guide to Social Media. I deliver ways that you can be active on social media and not have to worry about the friend stuff. And then how your differences help the audience. So obviously, Susan puts it out there. Susan says, I have experience and I know the strategies that'll work. She puts it out there and that's how it's going to help the audience. I similarly do the same thing. I say, here's what's going to work for you on social media. Here's how you're going to do it. And we're both while we put things out there different and we talk a little bit different, we have different feels overall. We both believe in the same thing. So a lot of what we're doing, the reason why this actually worked was because we believe in the why. We believe in you knowing your why and being able to use it. So with that, we brought it full circle. We started with the why, as we should, by telling you our whys. We then explored how you can discover your why. And then this week, I reviewed what you'll get when you start with your why. So how you can actually win people over by using your why in your social media. So like I said, this is building your foundation for this. And we hope that you got a lot out of this entire series, actually. We wanted to tie it up in a nice little bow, but we hope you got a lot out of this entire series. So let's see here. I'm going to end with this. So there are only two ways to influence human behavior. You can manipulate it or you can inspire it. So I'm going to ask that you all inspire positive human behavior in the content that you put out there. And that was, of course, Simon Sinek. And I'm going to bring Susan back on right now. Come on. There we go. You're muted.
It's a great night, isn't it?
It's a great night. The Zoom room will be easier.
Yes, it will be so much easier. So, Jonathan, thank you so much. I think you inspired everybody, really, with how that you can take all these things and how important your why is to reaching and connecting with your customer, because that's really what it's all about when you have a business. If you don't have a customer, you don't have a business. You have a very expensive hobby. So this is showing you how you have to connect that stuff through in order to do that. So what we'd like to do now is I'll give you an opportunity to take another step. and we'd like to offer you some free sessions with us. So I'm going to be offering a free 30-minute business breakthrough session, and Jonathan's offering a free 30-minute story starter session. That's a tongue twister. And the links will be put in the chat. Haley will be dropping them in there for you. And we would love to meet with you and get a chance to share with you and talk with you and see if we can help you move your business forward in whatever way you need help. So with that, I think, Jonathan, it's time for us to go to the Zoom room. What do you think?
I think it is really time for us to go to the Zoom room and get out of StreamYard because it just has not liked us this week. But so we're going to head over to the Zoom room. I think Susan's going to jump down right now and get out of there. We're going to open it up for you guys. This is the number. That is the link. And I see Haley's already dropping it into the chat. So you can just click on the link in the chat. Join us in the Zoom room so we can talk about all this stuff and not fumble with technology. So we will see you guys soon. Come on.